Oh, JSS got it now, and it's echoing through your computer right now.
It is. Is it still doing it?
It's really bad. It's like in stereo.
Still doing it.
Check.
Still
Yeah,
doing
really
it?
bad, really loud. Yeah.
What's weird is it doesn't do it to anybody else's but yours. Is it still there?
Check. Yes.
Still there, man. Check.
Check. Yes. I don't think that.
I don't know what to do about it, man. Check it again.
Check. JSS, yeah, it's still there. JSS is just not sharing the link here.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. We're live. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties here, man.
Oh, we're live. Jeez.
Yeah. I went live because I...
Oh, it is.
Oh, so hopefully everybody's jumping over. For some reason, it produced two different ones. Produced two different streams, and it wouldn't allow us to go live because for some reason, I don't know, StreamYard is a pain in the butt sometimes. So hopefully everybody is jumping over. There's people in the chat.
Yeah, we're gonna probably need a couple more. I'll probably need a blue wrench at least, I think, at some point.
Yeah, but soon I know how to do that, buddy. I've been meaning to put you on at it.
That's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know why you're getting an echo.
Yeah, it seems better now.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think everybody's here. All right.
All right. Thank you, JSS.
Everybody's good. I think we're good now.
We're all right. We're just a little bit of a delay. It happens sometimes, man. It's we're not technical experts at this. I didn't go to TV school,
right?
Stream school to know how to do this proficiently. Yeah. But
that's the way it always works, is just trial and error. But
yeah. But
yeah, all right. I think we should have a good show here.
Yeah.
Put all that behind us.
How's your weekend going, man?
Not bad. I traveled back yesterday and was just tired. I went to bed early and then slept in a little bit. But yeah, a lot of time with just Chonko today, and talked to family, and not that bad.
Not that bad, yeah. Same here. I went to a couple LCSs and bought way more than I should, and but at least there were most of it was a lot of dollar books and stuff like that, But 50-cent books and stuff, so not too bad. A few current issues, but I've tried to cut back on those. But
yeah, I know that feel. I'm not reading too many at the moment. I'm only reading like maybe 4 titles right now.
Yeah,
but
that's not the same for me. I have actually slacked off quite a bit, but there's a few that are changing hands, like Transformers. DWJ's not doing that anymore. It's going to Kirkman and somebody else.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
but yeah, we have a good guest here. We had we had someone who was going to be on, and we've been wanting to ask Brian, and Brian was gracious enough to accept the invitation kind of on short notice. So that was really, really great. We have the great and powerful Brian-lcs tonight.
Yeah. We'll bring him out.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. Local comic stud, man. How's it going,
intro? I don't know. Powerful. I don't know about that, but
yeah.
I'm here.
Thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah. Thanks for helping trying to figure it out, man. That was weird, man. I don't. You end one thing and try to create something else, and it was like it didn't like either way, so it decided it wasn't going to let me on at all. So,
Welcome to my world with StreamYard. I've been frustrated with StreamYard for about 6 months now, but welcome, Brian. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
So normally we start kind of the same way. We have a couple questions, but normally first we'll say hi to everyone in the chat.
Sure. Yeah,
so,
got a bunch of
yeah,
people.
Hi to the chat. Yeah. Hi to the chat. Got Brian.
There's Brian-lcs.
Jason, buddy.
Jason.
Sweetheart, are you home?
Adam.
He was driving back from his vacation today. He must have got back home.
Nice.
It's a long drive. Chanko.
That dork.
K Munin, buddy.
Hey, Cam.
The big, powerful Stevie D.
Stevie,
I didn't realize that my Tahoe had a CD player in it, and I actually listened to your jazz album today, man. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice.
I was driving around with it today, jamming out.
JSS. Thank you, JSS.
Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Mark.
Yo, Mark.
The great and powerful Robbie.
Yo, Robbie.
Let's see. This is Second Floor Comics.
Yeah, formerly New York. New York was his name before. Welcome to Second Floor.
Then Big Lyle.
Yeah, Big Lyle. Big Lyle will be on a upcoming show.
Oh,
yes. Let's see. There's Big Matt.
Hello, Matt. We were late too. Don't worry.
Yeah, we were late and we were on the wrong one. Johnny boy, man, missed you, man.
The great Johnny.
Later.
I think he's hanging out with Nate and Hagen tomorrow. Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, in the morning. Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, it'd be a good show.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, we kind of start off with the same couple questions with everyone that we have on. So, what got you into comics, and what made you decide to start a YouTube channel?
Comics, I don't even remember. I hear people talk about like they remember their first book they picked up, and I don't even remember what my first comic was. I don't even remember how I became aware. We used to always go on summer vacations with the family. I'm the youngest out of my siblings, and so I remember we'd drive somewhere. It was a road trip. Typically, we would go camping. 5 kids. It was a big family. So, we'd drive somewhere, and I would always pick up books, comics, or magazines. Mad Magazine. Have some reading material in the car. During the couple-hour car trip. So that's kind of my earliest memory of the newsstand and magazine rack picking up books. And we had a 7-Eleven that was walking distance of my house. And then, when I was old enough to ride my bike, I would ride my bike there and pick up books. So, but from the earliest I can remember, I was watching Adam West Batman reruns on TV.
Sure.
The Spider-Man animated series from the 60s on TV.
Yeah.
All of my toys as a kid in the 70s were Mego superhero stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd watch, Batman, and I'd have, Batman, the Batmobile, Robin, and all the figures, and be playing with them and watching the show. Same thing with Spider-Man.
Super Friends.
And so, I just at some point, we realized there were printed books out there and started picking them up. I had no idea, probably 6-7 years old, and no idea like how often they were printed,
Right.
I would just go to the store and look for books that I liked, and I'd pick them up. And
I remember being that way
eventually,
too.
I had a couple friends who were into books. I was lucky enough because I know a lot of people, said, "Oh, I don't really have anybody," but I had a couple friends through like grade school, middle school, high school that were into books. 2 friends, and then one of my friends, Mike, he had an older brother who was into books, and so, but they were more on. I like Spider-Man, but they were like more Fantastic Four and Thor. So they kind of introduced me to John Byrne, and then I started collecting Fantastic Four books and things like that. So it kind of just evolved, my collecting, and that was kind of it. I lucky enough, I grew up in Long Island, and there were a number of comic shops around. There was one that I used to go to that was like by our shopping mall, and I could catch the bus, like before I was driving, I could catch the bus to go to the mall and go to the comic shop. So definitely had a lot of opportunity as a kid to get comics. So, but yeah, and then YouTube for me started with the pandemic. I was working from home. I still had a couple long boxes of books that I had collected. I had stopped collecting. Like when I went to college, I stopped collecting, but I still had my books from a kid. And pandemic, had time, was home. We weren't going out, so was working from home. Started going through those old books. I actually started selling the books off. That was during the pandemic. I like hit eBay and was basically selling my books. But I had to go to the LCS to buy more bags and boards, and made the trip and looked at the new books, saw some Spider-Man books. I was like, let me pick up a Spider-Man book and see what's going on with the character. And then, then I went back the next week, and the next week that I stopped selling my books, and then I had a pull list, and then I was off to the races again. back collecting full time. So,
yeah. What drew you to Spider-Man? Is that something from a kid or just from recent time?
Yeah, no. Well, because I grew up in New York, so I was I grew up on Long Island. I was like 2 counties over from Queens. Mm-hmm. So, as a 5-6-year-old, I thought I could go into New York City and see Spider-Man. Like he would be swinging around, and I knew where Queens was. So I'm like, that's, that I could drive to Queens and maybe I can go see Aunt May. That was my mindset. And so that's why Spider-Man just kind of resonated with me. I like Batman, but I didn't know where Gotham City was. I knew New York City and I knew Queens. So, I thought, hey, I'm going to go, I'm going to go into the city one day, and maybe I'll run into Spider-Man.
So early on, you were on the Spidey bandwagon very, very early and stuck with it this whole time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We went, my mom took me to a breakfast at a JCPenney's with Spider-Man. It was like a pancake breakfast, and it was a meet and greet with Spider-Man.
Oh man.
I won like a Spider-Man poster that day. My dad took me to it was a competitor with Toys R Us in the Northeast. It was called Playworld. I think it was Playworld.
Not familiar with that.
It was a toy store chain just in the Northeast, and they had a Spider-Man appearance, and they were showing off. They were debuting like a new toy. It was like a shield with like a little spinner. Like you pulled the zip cord and this thing shot off. And so we're getting set up for it. They're getting set up for it, and the woman who's like running the event comes over to me and she goes, "Hey, Spider-Man's going to come out in a minute, and we need somebody to like yell to him," because it was Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. And they're like, "We need somebody to tip Spider-Man off that the Green Goblin's here." And I looked at this woman, I said, "Why do you need me? He's got spider sense. He's going to know." Like,
so
you don't need
so you were fooled. Like the actor in the suit fooled you, or
so it was, it was just 2 guys in costumes, but I'm like,
right.
When I was 7 or 8 years old, I'm like, he's got a spider sense. He doesn't need some kid.
Right.
You don't need me.
So yeah, so my parents supported the habit of comics and toys, and then taking me to these events as a young kid. So
It's a good thing for reading for kids, and I always talk about this anytime I can get on my soapbox. But people who read when they're young tend to read later on in life, and people who read are more interesting people.
yeah, my dad was a big reader. Used to read newspaper, front to back to front. He and it was always reading books. So yeah, just that was like I said, it was kind of the vacation thing. Always having some reading material for those dreaded car rides.
I remember those days too. And so you obviously collector your whole life, or at least reader your whole life, comic reader your whole life.
Yeah, I got out.
Young.
I dropped out around college. Got college and women and girls and hanging out. So
cars and
so stopped collecting then, but kind of always kept kind of seeing what was going on with the character. But I didn't jump back in until COVID. I had my original books that I collected as a kid. I sold them to a college friend at one point because I needed some money, and he didn't do anything with them. And so then once I was done with college and landed a job, I bought them back from him. He basically he basically gave me a loan, and I gave him the books to hold basically, and so I bought the books back. But
our stories are very similar, by the way. I had sold some books to a friend when I went in the military. He sold them back to me recently, just like a month or two ago. This Lone Wolf and Cub Run and stuff. And I was out for years. I would read like omnibus editions and trade paperbacks, but in COVID is when I came back too.
Yeah. And like COVID initially was just selling my collection. And then because I started looking at, prices and some of the books I had, and I had a pretty good run of Amazing Spider-Man, and it was all the Todd McFarlane stuff. It was, 252, it was basically from like 230 to like 375.
The good stuff.
Right in that sweet spot. So, Spider-Man 300, 299, 252.
Death of Craven. You have all those cool stories.
Yeah.
Venom.
So I started selling them, and then that's then like I said, I had to go back to the LCS and get some bags and boards, and then kind of got hooked back into picking books up and started reading and stopped selling my books. And, here we are 4 years later. And then, I discovered YouTube because I had to figure out, I was selling my books and I needed to figure out how to ship them. I had no idea that there was a Gemini mailer.
Right.
And so I went to YouTube to say, how can you mail a comic book safely? And I found some videos and discovered the Gemini mailer. And I was like, okay, I got to get some Gemini mailers.
Right.
And then I started watching some other channels. They got me booked. I said, let me see what's been going on with Spider-Man over the last, 25 years. And so just kind of went down that rabbit hole.
Which channels were you watching at first?
I think the first channel I discovered was Reggie Collects.
Okay.
I found a video on his about, boxing, shipping books. But then I discovered like Comic Tom. Those were really the main two. And then just, that kind of opened up. You start to see people in the comments and, trying to figure out if they had a channel and then follow them. Or, if you just do a quick search on a like Spider-Man, you'll come across, a bunch of different channels.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
It just kind of opened it up. And then I, after watching for a little while, I said, well, I'm back into collecting. I was selling some books, and I was still selling some books that I didn't want to keep in the PC. I said, well, I can do a weekly video that I can recap what I sold on eBay. That was kind of my.
I tried that at first.
I have some content, and so that's how I started the YouTube channel. And then you start to meet people. You should start to see people in commenting or And then the live stream was kind of just, at least for me, I started to discover live streams and the chat and other people talking about comics. And then I discovered more channels. And then somebody invited me on a live stream. I think Mark, I think Legion of Comics was like the first person to invite me
Good
to a live stream. And then that was like, oh, wow, somebody's inviting me to a live stream to come talk comics. And then it just kind of went from there. Then you start to see people giving giveaways and AOKs, and you kind of fall into, all right, well, if they're doing giveaways, I'm going to do a giveaway. When I hit my 100 subs, I'll do a giveaway. And, it just kind of snowballs.
That's a common theme, it seems like. I think we all like, hey, 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
Want some comics?
Let's give some stuff away to people I don't know, it just, you kind of look around when I first started, it was just like, well, what are other people doing? So I'll do what they're doing because other people seem to be watching that. So hopefully they'll watch. If I do that, they'll watch me. So it's kind of,
so how long have you, how long did you have a channel before you decided that you was going to do some sort of award?
It was pretty quickly. I started in April of 2020. And so the first voting for the awards kicked off like 3 months later.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of the initial comments of like, who is this guy with a couple hundred subs doing an award show for the community? Like, he's some guy in his mom's basement. Why is he? What is he doing?
Right.
Like, who does he think he is?
Yeah, that's awesome though, man. You jumped right into it. That's it takes something. It's a lot of people say that about different people. I had people telling me when I did my like highlight series, they're like, man, you just jumped straight into doing highlight of LCSs and stuff and interviewing people. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Everybody does.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to jump right into it. They were like, man, I wouldn't have done it for like the first year being on YouTube, then finally start doing live streams or something. I was like, that's just what I wanted to do to get me into it. I wanted to just jump into it. So I can understand that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the live streams really evolved, at least in the last, since I've been on YouTube, because there was often times where you would jump on and there was nobody live. And now there's just so many channels that, there's a live stream pretty much, any night of the week you can jump on and there's, multiple live streams. So.
And it's progressing. Like it's getting like more and more polished and stuff like, yeah.
I
mean, I saw Brian's in the chat, but I see them doing on like Beyond Wednesdays and a couple other channels, like really like taking it to like almost like a professional, podcast, kind of thing, like national, international type looking thing. And it's really impressive the way that it's going. And you see channels growing and stuff, and everybody says, well, there's a certain limit to, comic book content and comic book channels, but I'm not so sure about that. I think that, I think if you're entertaining, I think, people will. I watch this one guy who does this video game that I've never played, that I'll never play, and he's just really funny. This guy Wellen, who does this stream for this game called Rust that I've never played, but he's hilariously funny, and I watch him like all the time. So I don't know, but I wanted to ask you about something specific with the awards. Now you've not only did you have to have a certain amount of testicular fortitude to do it in the first place, but you've taken some lumps over time. Some people have been critical, and you've hung with it, and I have a huge amount of respect for that.
I commend you for that.
It's very admirable to when some people are criticizing or they don't like this, they don't like that, to continue on and stick with it. So well done. But can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, how that had to be hard sometimes to hear like people saying things that, offhanded remarks or something.
Oh yeah. No, that first year was tough because I really didn't think I'm like, I had no idea that people would not like it. I kind of went in it blind and was just like, this is a good thing. How could And then some criticism started to roll in, and I wasn't ready for it. I was like, why would people be upset about this? I didn't really understand it because I didn't even consider it when I first started, and that's probably a good thing, or else I probably would have never started it if I knew that people were really going to be critical of it. And early on that first year, I kind of started going back at some of those people, like in some of the comments, and quickly I learned, and it may have even been from advice of some others in the community, but if I was going to be kind of the person behind an awards for the community, I really couldn't go back at people. I kind of had to take the approach of not, let people be critical of it, but I can't go at them because it's not really what the awards represents.
Right.
And I had a pretty good record. Those after that kind of first dust up, I kind of just didn't pay attention to it, or would listen to it but wouldn't react. And then last year I kind of got bit with some of the Razor stuff, kind of reverting back to that year one. But it was it's been a lot of criticism, both good and bad. People providing feedback and making the awards better. But yeah, I mean, I probably every year during the awards, I probably say, this is it. I'm not going to do it anymore. A dozen times throughout the nominations and the voting. But then I'll get a reaction of people, being so grateful for being nominated or becoming a finalist, or, when somebody wins, and just the reaction that people have, that kind of keeps me going, reminds me of why we're doing it, and how it could be impactful to the people involved, or people who have been nominated or finalists. So that really kind of keeps me going, and the criticism and that kind of stuff kind of just drowns out.
I think it's fun. So
Yeah.
I think
and that's the goal, is really to just it's to have fun, right? I mean, we're on the internet talking about grown men and women talking about comics, on the internet, and so why? But I was amazed that, and you mentioned it, like the production value of some of the shows, the editing, the information that was being provided. And that's kind of what struck me of why I wanted to start the awards, because I'm like, most of these channels it's a side gig, it's a hobby. They're doing this in their spare time, but from like I said, from an entertainment value or production value, it's done really well. Most channels do a really good job, and so why don't we celebrate that?
I agree completely.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
One of the things, another question I had for you. So, favorite Spider-Man artist, favorite Spider-Man writer?
My favorite, I mean, John Romita Sr. is one of my favorites. But McFarlane was, when McFarlane's art came out in the 80s, it was a game changer. It was like, this is a style that we've never seen before. So those early Spider-Man books that he did really are some of my favorite. But if I think classic artist, it's got to be John Romita Sr.
It's a good choice.
Writer, it's probably the Last Hunt storyline.
I forgot who did that, but that's
I'm
one of my favorite stories.
From
that era is one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, and then recently it's been Hickman. Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man is probably one of my favorite Spider-Man books that I've read.
I haven't been reading it, so
yeah, it's just for me being an older reader of Spider-Man. When I jumped back into reading, I was surprised that Spider-Man was still basically the character Peter Parker was still at the same point he was 30 years ago. He was still broke. He couldn't pay rent. He wasn't with Mary Jane. It was like, what? Nothing had changed. And so I was like,
So what's the use of having all these powers?
Like, he's a smart guy. You think he would have figured this out by now? You know?
He'd be rich and have Mary Jane.
And that's why I enjoy. That's why I think Ultimate is so good, because it's a more mature Spider-Man. He's with MJ. He's got kids. He becomes Spider-Man later in life, but some of the same, meaning behind being Spider-Man is still there. So,
okay, a follow-up onto that, piggybacking onto that question, who is your favorite villain out of his Rogue Gallery?
I love Green Goblin. Norman Osborn, I think, is one of my favorites. Doc Ock too. I think Doc Ock is just another one of those great Spidey villains. But if I had to pick one, it would probably have to be Green Goblin, just because of the impact that he's had on Spider-Man and Peter Parker's life over the years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Adam answered it. It's DeMatteis did
DeMatteis, yeah. I couldn't think of it. Yeah. And he's done some recent stuff too. He's done some mini series that have been pretty good. He's actually writing. He's the writer, Spider-Man 94. It just came out. Nice. It's like a three issue mini series, and he's the writer on it as well.
How's that?
This is pretty good. I never watched the animated series, so I don't really I don't remember this, the animated show, but issue 1 was a good read.
Cool.
I tried to watch all those animated series, man. Pretty good.
Yeah, my favorite has to be the 60s, and then Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
I used to watch the one that used to come on in the morning before I caught the bus.
Yeah.
Every morning.
I remember being home from school sick and being able to watch the one, the early
from the 60s,
late 60s, early 70s one where with the Spider-Man.
That's the as corny as it is now, as campy as it is, it's still.
It was great. It was so cool. Yeah. So I got another one for you. Are you a MJ, Gwen Stacy, or Felicia guy?
I think for me it's MJ. She's the stable one, I think, right?
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
I mean, Felicia, she's not a bad side piece, right?
You see, that's my answer, and this is why I'm perpetually, with a girl that's like that. So yeah, MJ is the right answer.
Right. She's the marry. She's the girl you marry, but Felicia, it might be the one you want to have a little fun with. And Gwen Stacy's a great character, but I don't think we didn't really know. She got killed so early in the run that she really didn't develop as much, as MJ did. So
sure. So you brought some books, right?
Yeah, I did.
Imagine there's a couple Spider-Man books.
John Romita.
Yeah. Wow.
And
really nice.
Green Goblin, right? So
yeah.
Classic Goblin cover.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite covers. So you've got, like I said, Green Goblin, who's one of my favorites. You've got, some people even said, "Oh, this is a bondage cover." Spider-Man's tied up. I'm like, okay. But he's unmasked. It's just, and just classic, classic artwork.
See, John Senior, when they went from Ditko to John Senior, that's it was such. Ditko had his own little thing, but Senior, I just like you said, it changed it so much that it was just a different take to where I liked it more. It didn't seem so campy, I guess. Not to crack on Ditko or anything, but Ditko was
the covers improved for sure.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's his first cover.
Senior style is just
Now this book is just one of my favorites because it's my birthday book.
Oh,
published the year and month I was born. So having a book as old as me is pretty cool.
is that First Chameleon?
No, he was earlier in the storyline. But so this is no big, key book, but just, other than it was, it came into the world the same year and month I did.
It's awesome.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
an awesome choice.
I just, I think it's pretty cool to have a book is, like I said, as old as you.
Right.
Now these were two of the books that I picked up. I have two copies. So these are books I picked up from the 7-Eleven.
Oh wow, your childhood copy.
Most likely, in a brown paper bag, on my Huffy bicycle, and drove them home.
Amazing.
Read them, and then, stashed them in a box and a bag and board, and have had them since 1985. And like I said, they stayed with a college buddy for a couple years until I could get them back.
Yep.
And this was one of the first. When I got back into collecting, I sent these to CGC. I didn't know anything about like grading or cleaning or pressing. So these were straight, no clean, no press.
Yeah.
And, like I said, bought from the 7-Eleven and
utterly fantastic.
9.4 with white pages.
That's
Beautiful.
awesome. I still have mine too that I picked up at Rich's Comic Shop, Middletown, Ohio. Got my original. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so I bought two of them because it was a number one.
Oh, wow.
And it was a great cover.
It is a great cover.
Yeah, and I got to meet Charles. So Charles Vest did this cover.
Sure.
Got to meet him this year at Heroes Con, and I had a couple raw copies that I had him sign as well. So he was really, really nice guy.
Brian, I brought my book down there and then never did go get him to sign it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was funny when I had him sign it. There was like his assistant or somebody that was at the booth with him, and they started joking. He goes, "Oh, that's the no chin cover."
Yeah,
because Spidey's face against the chest, he basically didn't have to draw his chin.
Sure, yeah.
And so Charles Vest was joking like, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite, no chin cover."
No chin cover.
Okay.
That's great.
And then this next book is kind of my Toy Story moment, right? Superhero toys up until 1977 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
So all
big
of
for all
the
of us.
superhero toys went in a box. The Batmobile, all of the Mego figures. I had the Bat Cave, the little bat signal light. It all went in boxes.
Came out, man.
And I had then it was all the Star Wars figures, the Millennium Falcon, Death Star.
I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, me too, man.
I remember my dad talking about it in the car. We were listening, and like a commercial came out on the radio, and they're like, Star Wars or whatever. He's like, my dad's like, hey, they sound like this pretty good. You want to go see this movie? And I'm like, a war movie? I don't know about a war movie. And we went, and then it blew my little shoes off. It blew my little shoes off. I was like, okay, that's all I want now. That's all I like.
Yeah. It was like two distinct, toy lines as a kid. It was superhero stuff, and then Star Wars came out, and then they went away, and then it was just it was
like that scene
Star
from
Wars
the
toys until
Toy
I
Story.
was 13, 14, and then stopped. With
it was like that scene
after that.
Toy Story where it says, "I don't want to play with you anymore."
Right.
All this crap, all Star Wars, everything Star Wars. Yeah,
Yeah, it was so, it was so distinct. Like, get rid of the superheroes, put the superhero stuff away, and now it's on to the space toys.
Yeah, it ruled the roost for many years there.
And it's funny. It's not funny. It's kind of sad, but all of the superhero toys went up in the attic or rafters of our garage. We had an attached to like 2-car garage that's where my toys went, and we had a fire in the garage, destroyed the garage and all of the toys. So all of the superhero toys were lost. And then I still had all of my Star Wars toys when I was in college, and I needed some money. So friend was having a yard sale, put all of the Star Wars toys, X-Wing, Millennium Falcon, the Snow Speeder, the Land Speeder, the Death Star, the old vinyl case of action figures.
Yeah.
Probably 100 action figures. Sold it all for like $125 at a yard sale.
Wow.
And then, years later, met my wife. We have 3 kids. They are all huge Star Wars fans.
So you get to buy it again.
Yeah.
I wish
generation.
I had the original stuff, but
Yeah.
I did sell it. I did sell it to a father who had a young son at the time who was into Star Wars. And so I know it went to, a father and son that, he was going to, have it for his son. But yeah, I kick myself now. Like, I really wish I didn't need the money at the time and I could have saved it for my kids. But yeah, we ended up buying, other stuff. But to have my original stuff would have been fun.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to do like all those years. Well, some people do, but it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. You broke college kid needed the money. So
Right.
I have the same story when I was in the military, selling my books.
the books
Oh, wow.
so I found this today. I remember that I had it. I was going through some books. So
Is that a
there were
cell?
6 different issues of Spider-Man that they gave you this little animated cell.
Yeah. A little
Wow.
animated cell. That's cool.
Yeah, so there were like 6 different issues, and I found these. I found these like in a dollar bin. They were like a poly bagged when the 94 animated series was coming out, and they gave you, a little cell. So I found, where's the other one? There's 2 different ones. I'm using the backer board so you can actually
You
see
see
it.
them. Yeah.
And then here's the other one. So I want to hunt
Really cool.
down
That is cool, man.
the 6 issues to kind of just, like a little animated cell, which is pretty cool.
That one's funny looking because you have 2 suits.
There was what?
I said that one there was funny looking because it's like, does he have 2 suits?
Oh, yeah. He's putting.
Because one's in the trash can and he's got one under his clothes.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just the mask and the gloves, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's
That's
just put
true.
on it.
That's true. Okay.
So, but yeah, those are really the books that I brought. I've got a bunch of my new comic books here. I mean, Ultimate. That, like I said, it's really been my favorite read.
Yeah.
That's the one I wished I'd have started picking up again because they were well into it when I decided I was going to try to find them, and I couldn't find them anywhere. Like number 1, like 1 through 5 or something like that, because I think they were on 7 or 8 or something. And I was trying to go back, and I was hitting all the LCSs trying to find all those, and it's like,
I don't think anybody kind of expected it. It kind of just when it came out, and the storyline that Hickman initially wrote, and the little twist with Uncle Ben, and it just I don't think anybody was prepared for it, and then it just kind of went crazy. And I'm pretty sure issue 1 is still, a $70, $80 book. It's holding its value. Raw copy.
How many prints? They've done several printings.
I think they did 8 or 9 prints.
That's what I'm saying. And that's the ones I keep finding. I'm like, I don't want that one. I want a little lower, print count. Yeah. So yeah.
Now, what do you think of like the main continuity? Like, there's a lot of criticisms for how they've handled the Peter and Mary Jane dynamic, and what they've done with Mary Jane specifically. Are you on the band or the mindset that's critical of how they've handled that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I almost feel like they don't know what to do with Mary Jane because she's not with Peter. Like, she became Jackpot, she got powers, and then she became Venom, and it's just like they don't know what to do with her.
Why can't she just be Mary Jane and be with Peter? Why? What's wrong with that?
I know. Like, I didn't understand why, she had Jackpot powers, and then when it was announced, revealed that she was Venom, that the symbiote suit, I was like, what are they like? Are they running out of ideas? Like, what are they doing?
I think people just think they're smarter than they are when they start writing these things. They're like, hey, you know what we could do? It's like, no, here's what we really want. We want Peter to be a little bit happy. Let's have Peter and Mary Jane and let give them other problems for a while.
Right. Well, Ultimate has been really one of the best selling. Ultimate Spider-Man, one of the best selling, probably selling better than Amazing Spider-Man, and that run is ending. But I think it just proves what fans of Spider-Man want. They want Peter and MJ together.
Right.
Yeah. Ahead, it's just jumping ahead with them having kids and everything else. It made it really interesting.
Yeah. It definitely adds another dynamic, right? Given his Peter Parker's background and protecting his family and always doing the right thing. Now that he's got 2 young kids, the stakes are a little bit higher.
Higher, yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they get back to it. I'm starting to get into the Joe Kelly run. So he's 11 issues into Amazing Spider-Man. And I got to meet him at Heroes Con as well and chat with him. And he said he had a lot of ideas. He's got a lot of story ideas and a lot of things he'd like to do. But he even said, he's like, as long as I stay on the book. Because he was and this was, a couple months ago. So he was only probably, 6 issues in. And so hopefully they keep him on. I'm getting used to the way he writes, his style. I'm starting to enjoy the book. I think it's starting to kind of head in the right direction.
That would be good. I think that they've done great with the movies.
Yes. Yeah. No, the movies have been good, right? There's been enough there from the comics, kind of the classic, Peter Parker story, right? And
yes,
they haven't kind of gone. I think the third Tobey Maguire was a little bit, too many characters, and they tried to do too many different story things. I really enjoyed Andrew Garfield. I thought that
in the most recent, the No Way Home. No Way Home was am I saying that right? No, it was No Way Home. No Way Home were they all three?
We're all three. Yep.
Yeah, he was brilliant in that. He was great.
Yeah. Well, there's all the rumors that they're going to bring back both Maguire and Garfield for Secret Wars, or they're going to have some some role in the movie. So we'll see. Which I think will be good.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it was good. There was a lot of characters in No Way Home. Yeah,
No Way Home. Yeah.
But they handled it well. It wasn't.
It
wasn't like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, where it felt like it was too much going on.
Right? Jumbled mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the way they had all 3 Spideys, and it was really funny.
Yeah. Well, and then
I was an Avenger. Are you in a
conversation, like comparing notes? Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new one for sure.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I hope they keep doing well. I mean, the movies. I've liked these movies, so yeah, I'm really optimistic with those.
I've just been a little surprised at how they've shown. They kind of were releasing a lot of set photos and stuff from it. I was like, I don't want to know too much. I like to go into a movie and be surprised. So I don't want to see all this, behind the scenes stuff ahead of it. So,
right.
A lot of guys are saying that Andrew Garfield was underrated.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. He was definitely
I'd like to see a third movie of his for sure.
Yeah.
And see what they would have done, continued it up. Yeah. Everybody else got 3, so he should have gotten 3,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of great scenes in that the most recent one. I really enjoyed those. And I don't enjoy many Marvel movies nowadays. So
yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people said, it was fan service, but
I love fan service.
Did it well. I thought they did it well. So.
Like Deadpool Wolverine was the same. I love fan service. Give me.
Yeah,
right.
Superman was fan service, and it was awesome. Yeah. I liked it. Liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked Superman. I finally did see Superman. By the way, I was way behind everyone, and I thought the things that worked were really great, and then there were some things I didn't like. But I talked with a couple people about it, or I won't bore you guys with my opinion on Superman.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I mean, but I grew up Christopher Reeve Superman, so it's
right.
There's a tough comparison there. Although you look back at those movies now, and they're what was it? Superman 4 was Richard Pryor. You're like,
I don't count past 3.
That was a weak one.
Right.
4 and 5 didn't count at all.
I love Richard Pryor, but maybe not in that.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Misplaced. But yeah, I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet, so I can't offer any opinion on that.
It was.
I enjoyed that too. I thought it was smart the way they did it, more as a timepiece, set in the 60s. I thought that was good.
I thought it was good. It didn't suck, for sure. So it was good. So let's see what happens with the Secret Wars and stuff like that. Future film.
Yeah, I'm optimistic again, but maybe it's misplaced, but I have heard rumors of like God Emperor Doom stuff maybe coming, which I would like. I would like to see Doom pull Thanos' spine out of his body. That would be kind of cool.
That would be awesome, dude.
I hope we see something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Franklin Richards turning Galactus into his herald.
Yeah.
Would be kind of cool.
That'd be a good ending. Yeah.
But so did you have any more books to show, or sometimes what we'll do is at about an hour we turn it over to the buddies. We invite some buddies on to talk to, and they might have questions as well.
Turn it into a hangout.
Last of the books I pulled, so yeah.
Okay.
Turn it into a little hangout, and I'll see here. See if I can do this correctly by posting.
As he's doing that, I had a question. Do you vote in the awards?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you did.
I mean, I'm usually the first one.
Okay. All right.
But
I was going to say, Brian, after Chanko had made a comment about, as far as you continuing to do it and everything, I thought after last year, I didn't really think that you would want to. I really felt like you got treated unfairly last year by some of the people that had won that you had nothing to do with. It was people voted, and that's how they won, and people really got kind of nasty, I felt, so.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm counting beans, right? I'm collecting votes, and so it's the community. So it's the community that does it. So you can certainly be mad at me because I'm, I organize it, but
I thought the criticism you took was unfair. I did see the incident, the razor incident, and things, and I thought that was unfair, and this is just my own opinion speaking on it, but I thought the criticism that I saw, at least I thought was unfair.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean,
totally agree.
I can understand that the criticism I can agree with is that that's not the platform to take a shot at somebody. And I can agree with that. That was my.
Well, we all make mistakes. We're human beings, and there was no malicious. It was I thought it was.
Yeah, people took it, I thought, too far. They really kind of tried to stretch it into something it really wasn't. It was an attempt at a joke, a shot at somebody, and it wasn't received well. And
right.
I'll learn from it. But it wasn't more. In my mind, it wasn't more than that, or else I would have never put it in the video to begin with. I would have, if I thought it was going to have the reaction it did. I certainly would. I'm smart enough to know I wouldn't do that.
Sure.
So. Yeah, it was just kind of maybe, it was just a mistake, really.
We're human beings.
Hey, Matt.
Hi.
Matt.
Hi, Brian. I'm picturing the Boston Globe coming to Big Nasty now. What was your thoughts about the FF? It didn't suck. That made me laugh so hard.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, really, eh?
It didn't suck. Hey, it didn't suck. Yeah.
And Bleeker stole my line. I was going to say, "Speak for yourself. I'm Kryptonian," but obviously they're human. But
yeah, anybody who wants to jump on and talk, or if you, especially if you had a question for Brian, about his comics, comic collecting, YouTube, or the awards or something,
Yeah,
please.
I wanted to say to
come on out, man. We've got it somewhat straight, so hopefully it'll.
Archivist had a question. He says, "Have you ever thought of nominating yourself?" I always say, don't vote for me, and because I'm running it, I don't really.
You don't want that.
I don't want to be a part of it.
No,
because it wouldn't be fair, right? So,
right. People would criticize that.
Right. Negative Nancy's out there would really.
But I do get, there are nominations and votes that come in for me, nominations that have come in for me, and I just remove them from the,
Sure.
when we compile all of the nominations. So
right.
I appreciate it, but I ask everybody to just, there's plenty of other channels you can vote for.
Matt had a question. He said,
yeah, I wanted to say something to Brian. I have really noticed lately you have been everywhere, and I applaud you for watching all the shows and stuff that you do.
Absolutely.
I couldn't keep up with that kind of I see your comments and and on my channel too, but I mean like on Chonko's channel, on Big Nasty's channel, on Adam's channel, on you're everywhere, like Alan's channel, Biggie Shack. Like I see you everywhere. It's pretty cool.
Right. Well, I think that's part of the responsibility of running the awards is to try to support as many channels. And, maybe that's, at the fault of my free time, but, I try to support. And I'm amazed that, when the nominations come in that there's always new channels in the nominations that I'm not aware of. So I'm excited to see that I'm discovering new channels, and hopefully others will too. But yeah, just try to support. And I find that the new channels that have come in, and I consider all three of you new channels because you're, fairly young in your YouTube time. That I love discovering new channels because you guys keep me energized, right? Because like I've been watching Bleeker for 4 years, and it's like I've had enough of this guy already. I gotta find some new channels to watch.
Now I get it. I get it completely. I was gonna come on and say, why have I not been a part of this campaign this year? I haven't seen any of my face in any videos, and now I get it. You've had enough of me after 4 years. Brian, I didn't come on. I don't want to be here very long because I got other things to do tonight, but I just want to say hi to everybody on the panel. You guys are all fucking awesome. And Brian, you, my friend, have become a very big inspiration to me. Your Kickstarter campaigns, you've gotten them all out awesome, on time. You've done a really good job, and just want to say congratulations on that. Thanks for being an inspiration on that end to me personally, and I'd love to pick your brain sometime, seeing as I'm very fresh on the Kickstarter scene. So.
We forgot to mention that. I can't believe we forgot. Can you talk about your Kickstarter a little bit?
You forget to mention this guy's Kickstarter.
I'm sorry. Bleak, we want you to talk about yours too in a minute.
No. This is all Brian, buddy. I just want to come in and say thanks.
But yeah, Bleeker, any questions? Happy to help. Because I've been through it a few times. Happy to help pass on the knowledge, just like others have helped me when I was starting. There were a few people that I reached out. So. Yeah, happy to help. I mean, because it's a win-win. If all of our anybody that's doing anything on Kickstarter are successful, I think it's just a good thing for the community. And as we continue,
awesome job, Brian. You've done a great job. You've got 2 already successful campaigns. You've got another one coming up for, I believe, is it Halloween? I think you've got the girly book coming out, which looks really awesome. And then of course
a lot of our friends contributed to that.
You probably have number 3 of the Doctor coming out as well, I would imagine, shortly after that. So you're doing awesome. I'm very impressed with your brother. You've done a great job, And on that note, enjoy talking about your Kickstarter.
Thanks, Bleak. Thank you.
Thanks, Bleak.
Peace, guys.
Yeah. Could you talk
we've
about
got,
the current one, Brian? Could you talk about your current Kickstarter?
Yeah. So one of the things that I did before I started, any of the Kickstarter campaigns is really just looked at Kickstarter, like looked at books, looked at campaigns, looked at campaigns that were successful. What kind of rewards did they offer? And so really just kind of studied what was out there to kind of see if I could glean any information to include in mine. And so the latest one is Damsels of Halloween and Horror. So it's basically an art book of pinups of horror and Halloween characters. And we've got Up and Adam did a piece, Stevie D did a piece, SideQuest did a piece,
Nice.
Dr. Von Hoot, Mrs. Von Hoot, his wife
wow.
did a piece, Rad Comics and Art did a piece. So I was trying to get as many community artists as I could involved. There were a number of others that I reached out to that just didn't have the time or, just couldn't commit to it. But it was one of the things that I found on Kickstarter is that there are a number of, good girl projects that do really, really well.
You're speaking my language, but
the good girl books, covers.
It took a while, but Alan's finally got. I finally got Alan's.
Yeah. So that was a big success too, as far as the amount of money it raised. And so that's not really the type of story that I want to write. But I said, well, what if I could do a pinup book, art book with a theme, a Halloween theme, right? There's a number of horror and Halloween fans. And so where I could just be the editor and kind of curate the art and the book and put it together. And that's kind of really how the idea came out. And it really was to see if I could test that category, to see if I could raise some funds to do some other things that I want to do. I have the Doctor, which is a superhero story. Issue 3 is in the works. It's with the artist. Script was done. I have about 6 pages of art so far. So the artist is continuing to work on that. But I have another story, another sci-fi story that I want to write and produce. So the Damsels of Halloween and Horror was really just, let's test this good girl category and see if I could raise some funds that I could use on future projects. That's really, really how it came about. But
do you have the link? Maybe would you be able to drop it in the private
this
chat?
is Stevie D's.
You're the one that got that piece.
Oh, Stevie D's.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Will that be in the book? Awesome. Stevie D makes it in the book. That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and that was really the thought, is to try to include as many community artists, because there's so many talented artists in the community.
Sorry, I'm looking for the link to post for you.
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat. I just
Yeah, I made you a wrench.
There's a lot of good, there have been the hardest part I find with Kickstarter is what to do. I can't do everybody. Or I'd be $8,000 in debt. And I'm really interested in your project. I just haven't got around to it yet because I got to get through my anniversary first. And I hope it's
and I realize that people have asked me already, when is the issue for the Doctor issue 3 coming out? And I'm need to complete the artwork, but I'm thinking it's probably not going to be until sometime next year, because I don't want to continuously hit people and ask for money, because I'm not a good self promoter in that way. I don't like asking others for money. It's just not something I'm good at. And so
I understand that.
Yeah, and so I try to space the projects out, so hopefully people, because there's so many different things, giveaways, AOKs. We've all got our rent and mortgage and bills and life to pay for. So, I get it. So I try to kind of space things out, because I don't want to keep, going to the same well over and over again.
Right.
Well, that is the downside for the most part about the community with the Kickstarters for comics. You are talking to the same people a lot. You may not be getting the same people every time, but you are talking to the same people. And my biggest fear, and I'm actually working on a video about this stuff, is that there's too much out there. How do you decide? That's what I'm working on.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm always the one of, look, if you can't support it financially, just share it. Share it, mention it in a video. Maybe it gets in, some other eyeballs that are not aware of it. That's the biggest thing for me, because I ultimately want to be able to try to grow the audience beyond people that know me today or just the community, because that's the only way you're going to be successful. You can't expect that somebody's going to continue to support your work over and over and over again. Because like I said, there's a lot of ways we can spend our money. So
I will admit that it's easiest if they make PDF copies available.
Yeah, the digital stuff is because the international shipping stuff is gotten crazy.
I was going to say, when it comes to K-Pop's channel, there's quite a few I'm interested in that come on. And I always look for the option of the PDF, because the shipping to Canada is insane. And even with my box in the United States, I still run the risk of customs and stuff doing that.
Right.
So even though that part of shipping is cut and it is a bit of a savings, it's still expensive as heck. And I love when they have PDFs available, because for $5-10 I can get a copy of it and still read it and be supportive.
Right.
Do you have that option? I haven't read your Kickstarter yet.
I do. Yep. That is the option. I've done that with any of the projects I've done because of that reason, right? Internationally, or right. Maybe it's not your cup of tea. Maybe the story or my writing or the artwork isn't for you, but you want to support it. But maybe it's something you don't want to have to bag and board and put in a long box. And I get that. So having a PDF that you can just email and have on your computer makes it easy.
Nothing beats a floppy. I got the PDF, for example, of Alan's thing for a while back, and I read it, but it was so much better to read it once I got a copy here. That's me. Okay, I don't like staring at the screen. So
I'm the same way, man. I'm old school. I got to have it in my hand.
I was able to post it finally.
Okay.
I had to go to Instagram, and it took a little while.
I made you a Blue Ridge. So yeah.
I did it now. It's on there now. So sorry about that. That's what I was distracted doing, was getting the link posted.
Yeah.
I would say too, especially for the older stories. Now, of course, for Golden Age and probably early Silver Age, I'm never go. Oh baby!
Wow,
yeah.
Is that rad?
Yeah. No. This was a an artist from Brazil.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I asked
hashtag.
Hey,
I want a sexy Sith, and this is what she came up with.
That's a fantastic one.
Sith.
Could you say? Are you saying hashtag ass tag, or is it?
It could be.
And then look at the Bride of Frankenstein.
Wow. Jeez.
Chocolate like hot chicks.
Hashtag. But now, are you you're done? Has all the art been submitted for it, or are you still?
All the art's done. So that's one of the things that I talked to Dismay Comics, Brandon, who's done some Kickstarters. He has his own anthology horror books that he's done, and he's done some superhero, The Gallows Man. So I've interviewed him a few times on my channel, and he was one of the main people that I talked to before starting my own Kickstarter. And one of his recommendations was he does this a lot with his projects, where it's 100% done. Before he goes to Kickstarter, all of the art is done. So he's paying up front, and then he's using the Kickstarter to recoup some of the cost and do printing. But his idea was saying, like, look, if you believe in this project, lay out the money, and so that when the campaign's done, you can send it to the printer and turn the book around. And it was something that just stuck with me, and that's how I've done my projects, is to make sure it's 100% done, because I've seen campaigns where they're using the campaign funds to finish the artwork, and then it's months before you get your books. It just, I want to be able to turn the books around quickly and get them into the backers' hands.
It was a good idea to use community artists in that way.
Yeah, well, and that's what I thought. And obviously there's a lot of talented artists, but also, you have people that follow them as artists, so they're going to bring in an audience as well, right? They're going to bring in, their
I know
followers.
it's absolutely amazing how this community is. And Brian, that's the thing. You should give yourself a pat on the back and give yourself the special. We'll call it the special Matt likes comics because he thinks Brian is awesome award. Okay, where you and that is for doing all the things you do. As I said, I've really noticed lately how much you've been getting there around. I've noticed it on a few people. I mean, it isn't just you. I can tell that it's award season, but you in particular, because I see your name and it stands out. I mean, after all, you're the local comic stud, apparently.
Local comic stud, yeah.
Yeah, I felt that way. I mean, this past week, really, with everybody coming together for Brendan, for Mom, and what a great thing people are doing, and again, please, people, if you haven't donated for Mom, please, or share the link. We'll figure something out here, but and not only helping him and his family, and donating what money everybody's able to, but also figuring out a way, like in the future months here, the coming months, to help him replace some of his comics that he lost and stuff too. Like people are being very generous, not only with their money, but just with their time and reaching out to him. And I saw Mr. Akins, helped with a video on his channel, and other people I think are going to pitch in on that too. I think Derek has something that he's going to do, and I
think Hagen is going to help him out one way or another. I'm not sure yet. I could be wrong. Hagen's got some other stuff going on. So, but
I'd like to do something too. I'd like to maybe I'll send something over.
Well, I actually have it's kind of funny. I won a contest in the same week, one with Mon Comics and one with Who Dat Comics. They both sent me the same book. Fantastic 494. I'm sending Brandon back his copy because I know he lost his original copy in the fire. So I'm going to send him back.
I've been picking up some books here and there that I plan on sending him when that time comes. So
yeah, I've been looking out for things. I was at a comic store today and I looked out for things I know he likes, and he didn't. That store didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I'll scoop. I have a couple of cool things that I recently got the cool the giant size man thing, with the burning in the hand. Oh, that's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool? I mean, like we can, that's true.
So
it would be cool to have a mini, like Jerry Lewis used to do with the telethon, of a little broadcast and say, anybody who donates money today, we're going to get Brandon and an MC, like a My Comic Shop gift card, so he can get a few books or something like that.
Yeah, of his choice. Yeah, of his choosing. Yeah. That's a good idea, Matt. That's a good idea.
I mean, if we only knew someone who knew absolutely everyone in the comic book community.
Actually, who would be the best to host something like that would be somebody like Lunch Money, who has a huge channel subscription, and he is a friend of Brandon's. I realize he probably doesn't have a lot of time and stuff. But,
or Comic Tom. I mean, or
a guy like
Matt, since you'll be talking to him before us, since he can't even respond, you can ask him. Since he won't respond to.
Well, you know something.
He's just kidding. We both love that guy.
I'm joking. I am completely joking.
No, I mean, I wouldn't push him. A guy like Nate would do.
No, we love that guy.
No, I'm not pushing nobody, man. I'm just joking.
I would do it. I would do it in the sense that, but. In the sense of doing it, but my channel's too small. So.
Or you know who we could get? Sticky Goose.
Sticky Goose.
I'm kidding. Please don't hate me in the comments. Like everybody sends lumps of coal instead of money.
Right.
I think that's probably one of the things that people, I think, fall into that. Like, people look at sub size, that channel has X amount of subs and I only have this amount of subs. I can't invite that guest. I don't think that's true. I think it's most of the time, and Tom, I'm using Tom as an example, and I've talked to Tom a little bit here and there with the awards. He's won a few times, so I've sent him the awards. He's always been graceful, posted on Instagram, that type of thing. But I think if Tom has the time, he would come on anybody's show.
He seems like a nice guy to me. In fact, we were talking. I was like, who we should ask? Is Comic Tom and Swaggle House and people like that.
Yeah.
All they can say is they could say no, and maybe they're too busy, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worst they can say is no, right?
Yeah, no, right. I know. I felt that way. I have to admit, Mike is going to be on my show at the end of October, and it really took like Hagen and Mon. And Mon was part of that. Hagen, Mon, and Nate were like, "No, seriously, he's a great guy. Contact him." I was afraid I was too small and too, Alan, of course, has dealt with him. He helped him sell that Archie book so he could get his X-Men one.
Yeah, no, I talked to him at Heroes, and he's a real nice guy.
Oh,
seems like a nice guy. Everybody swears he is.
No.
Really
he comes across online as the genuine person he is, and that always
he really is.
You'd hate to see if a person has their own person, like me. And you, Chonko, and Big Nasty, and you too, Brian. What you see is what you get.
Yeah. I don't think anybody thinks I'm faking. I don't think there's like a thing that I don't edit anything. In fact, sometimes it's like I'd be better off if I were faking.
I would be better off if I edit sometimes, because I know sometimes I'm like, I can't read my own writing, but
that always cracks me up, Matt. I'm like, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
Yeah. The reason I do it that way is because the way I want to do my channel, I want to pretend that it's always live TV. Like the Soupy Sales show used to be in the 60s, or like Saturday Night Live and all that stuff. And the bloopers and all go on the screen. So
that's how I feel about it. I just want to let it fly. I want it to be like you're hearing me talk. You're in my living room hearing me talk or rant or laugh or goof around. Any jokes are just like off the top of my head, and any cursing is not planned. Yeah. It's really just like, I hate this person, Sebastian.
Well, I always laugh because I'm usually grumbling about the traffic or parking when I go into my local comic store. He says I always yell at clouds. So I mean, like, that makes me laugh when you think about Steppo as the lemon tree.
There's a lot of Chonko comments coming in. Adam says Chonko's really a hot chick in a mask. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah.
I like Archivus.
Yeah, Chonko swears around kids more in real life than he does in his videos. Around kids, I swear at children. No, I don't. I don't do that.
I had to, there was a time I was going to joke about making bingo cards for, Chonko Bingo. Which words is he going to use when he's opening a crappy package?
Yeah, just send him a bad packaging job. Yeah,
there's one. There's a go-to. Fuckface is my go-to. That's a catch-all. But like, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been trying to tone that down a bit. I've been trying to limit it a little more.
The bigger you get, the more that stuff will actually turn people off.
Yeah, and also I've just found like there are a couple of times where it wasn't funny, like where it was kind of mean. Like, and I don't want to be that. I want it to be funny. I don't want it to be cruel. I want it to be I want it to be silly and me just people laughing about it, not like, oh wow, man, that was kind of harsh, dude.
Right.
Well, I also have the factor that my job watches my channel to make sure that I don't say anything political and or the embarrassment to the Canadian government. So that actually makes me actively think I should not swear and I should not it actually, because I mean, I've already gotten 2 reports, so they are watching.
Oh gosh.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
We just had a change. Well, I mean, we technically had a change of government up here with the election we had not too long ago. So, new government, they always want to check things. They want to.
right. And as you get bigger, it does tend to matter more. And yeah, and I've even got like I've got some ideas, some things that might, like I've been talking about, like filter, pushing in a couple reaction videos every once in a while. I was talking to community even about it, like I don't watch anime and stuff, but I think it's kind of comics lateral, and I was going to do reactions to like anime, and it'll be just like a legit Chanko reaction where it's like if I really love it, I really love it, and if I don't, it's going to be where's this shit? Like the kind of honest reaction.
So at the comic store today, I brought my kids with me. Okay. And my daughter found some anime books she didn't have. Well, damned if I did listen to her have a conversation with the guy at the store who's running this store about the anime stuff that I would have on a normal basis with about Superman and Batman. It was like, how the hell do you know so much already?
Right.
Why isn't it on regular comics?
My son, one of my sons is like our family Star Wars expert. Like if I have a question about Star Wars, I just go to him.
Nice.
Like he knows just stuff, planets and just systems within the universe. Like I'm like, where did you find this information? Like,
yeah, at supper time, my wife didn't like my joke. There was a bug crawling the wall. She wanted me to get it, and I said, "That's no bug. That's a space station." She's like, "Would you stop?"
Nerd humor is my favorite, and especially when other people don't get it. It's like,
she gets it. That's the thing is, she gets all the stuff.
That's the good part.
Stuff with me. She just doesn't think it was funny.
Oh shoot.
Brian, Archivist has a question for Brian. Oh, Brian, do you?
Not a lot of my. I mean, some of my friends do. There's some of my friends, know that I collect books and that I've done Kickstarter and that kind of stuff. Certainly, my immediate family, my kids, my wife, my in-laws. I've shared my book with my brother, that kind of stuff. My comic book that I wrote. They know I'm on YouTube, but they don't really care. Like my wife calls the hobby cute. She's like, "Oh, you're cute.
Right.
You're gonna go hang out with your comic book friends tonight." That.
Yes,
kind of
I know. Mine says, "Are you gonna go have a play date?"
So
I think that's a census for all.
The first time I went to Alan's house, that's exactly what I said when she got home. She's like, "How was your play date with your new friend?"
I talked about it a little bit, and I know this question wasn't directed at me, but at first, people did not care at all. But recently, it's like my dad watches my channel from time to time. He loves me cursing about packaging. It's his favorite part. My best friend growing up loves me cursing about packaging. This is why I kept doing that, was because those guys like it. And then my nephew, he's not young. He's like 30. He watches every single video I do. And I have, I've mentioned two ex-girlfriends who watch and one who not only watches all my stuff, she now is into comic book YouTube, where she watches Alan's stream. She watches this stream. So she's going to watch this right now tonight, and we'll give tips, and she'll talk about the people she likes. She's like, I think you and Rich, you have a really good dynamic. He seems like he's a really soft spoken guy, and you're not. And so you guys work well together. She was talking the whole thing, or she'll tell me she'll be like, "Dude, your beard is really weird. You got to cut that," or she'll say stuff like that. So
it's reality.
Shout out Brittany. Brittany, you're probably watching, but shout out to Brittany.
Yeah, but my family, they still don't care. I told them, and they're just like,
my family doesn't care.
Nice, and that's it. That's as much as you get out of them. So
my own mother said, "I watched 2 minutes and you're boring."
Put on when I'm cursing about packaging.
It's not her thing. And my uncle, though, who had the comic collection when I was a kid, he watches. and my mother-in-law watches. My mother-in-law will comment, "Were you okay that day? You looked a little painful."
Checking up on it.
Yeah. Alan's mother-in-law watches him religiously, and she doesn't even
Yeah.
speak English.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do too.
How supportive. What a great person that is to just like support him that much.
Yeah, that's funny. She,
Oh,
and
it's
she was
pretty
on
good.
recently, right? He had her
Yeah,
Yes.
on at one
Yeah,
of the
briefly
beginning
she was
of
on.
the streams, right? Yeah.
yeah, for a
Mhm.
quick little segment of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Wife, what you saying, Adam? Does my wife
He knows
know
us all.
you all
Yeah.
through the pieces I've drawn of Rich as Conan, Matt as Superman? It was being attacked.
Hilarious.
Well, that
Which is
reminds,
accurate. Like if you knew Chonko, that's totally a daily occurrence.
And
I
Alan is a
laughed,
robot.
that's awesome. Rich is Conan.
Yeah.
I guess that makes dope the Hulk then, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause that was a good piece. The Dope's piece was really good. He showed me that
Oh yeah.
the other day when I had
that
him
was a
on.
good one.
Loved it.
Dope
Everything
was-
Adam does.
Thinking about
Shout
people
out
I
to
was
Adam. Like
Yeah.
hopefully everybody in the chat is subbed up to Adam. Like I know there are certain channels where they're
Tyler.
just undersubscribed. Everybody sub up on Adam, please. And
Here's another one before we because I see him in the chat. Here's Lao Tor here. Here's another one that just kicked off a Kickstarter, and he did a
Very
video with
talented.
Alan not too long. He's from Ottawa. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with him on a few shows, and he is really good. I've put my money where my mouth is with him because I do try to support the local guys first and foremost. So
super talented. Like if you should check out Lautor's Instagram. I'm not good enough to be able to do this and do the links at the same time, but yeah, Lau's Instagram shows his art really super talented.
And Lau will be on my show in a couple weeks as well. Like Chonko's my next guest. So
I'll try to keep my mouth under wraps and
but here dope
Right.
is an example. Dope is an example of a guy that I was nervous about approaching to come on my show. And
really? He's such a nice guy.
I know,
Dope's
but
sweet.
I'm a nervous guy. Okay, I really am. Like I'm still that nerd who lived in the basement when he was a kid. That was a way running from bullies. So sometimes I'm still a little nervous to contact people out of the blue. But again, Nathan Hagen convinced me. Trust me, he'll do it. So
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
me
a
and
great. It's one of my favorite channels.
Yeah, me and Dope hung out quite a bit at Heroes Con, man. He's a good dude. He's very genuine. Very,
I
very
think you, Rich, you also talked me into it. I think.
good.
Yeah, you were talking him up pretty big.
Yeah, he's very genuine.
I mean,
Archivist has another question.
But I had it. I got this for Dope today.
Oh, you got it for? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was at the LCS and the guy come in selling some stuff, and I was like, so then when he left, of course, I went to the counter. I went, "What do he sell you?" So he didn't. But Derek, he didn't even have this 5 minutes, and I was like, "All right, I'll take that." Yeah,
Nice.
so,
That's
Yeah,
the best way
sometimes
to.
it's the best when they get new collections in.
yeah.
They can-
There was just a few items. That brought in a bunch of different things, and he actually had a couple models. Man, I was like looking in his box, and Derek was like, "Yeah, we really don't buy models." I'm going, "Should I say something?" I'm like, "Nah, I'll wait. I won't say nothing."
Yeah, I got this today. He had he put a box out. He just priced of new stuff he picked up. It's Dazzler 2. And I wanted this because I had Dazzler 1 and it's continued in this issue. And it was driving me crazy what went on. So I'm like, I'll get it. And then I'm like, oh no, I've become Nate.
Archivist has a question for you, Brian. Brian, is there a nomination bucket you consider but decided not to do, or one you have now but might get rid of next year?
There's always new ideas coming in. I'm trying to think because we already have a few for next year. Actually, let me see. But we're always really tweak it to whatever's happening in the community. So like we added a shorts category this year, short form videos, because that's kind of a thing now, obviously on YouTube. So we're always looking at, so let's see. One of the things that we're considering for next year is most generous giving category. Like AOKs or giveaways, that type of thing. And really, one of the other things we're trying to do next year is trying to figure out a way to streamline the nomination portion of it, because it's so, having people nominate in 30 different categories is kind of time consuming. So trying to figure out a better way to do that, right? I want it to be open, like free, a free form, because if we did like a multiple choice, there's going to be channels I miss because I don't know all the channels. And so it has to be free form, but it has to be easy so that people can so I was thinking about maybe having it just enter your top 5 favorite channels and just tell me, why, I like this channel. I like their live stream. I like their unboxings or whatever it may be. And then the committee will kind of on the back end put them in the different categories.
Yeah, I don't know. That would.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's not exactly what we're going to do next year. But I need to come up with a better way for the nominations, because I think it's just too much information for somebody to sit down and say, all right, let me find 30 channels in each of these categories.
Right.
So we're always thinking of how can we make it better? How can we make it easier for people to nominate? The finalist voting's easy, right? It's multiple choice. You pick your favorite, or you pick, your friend, or, whatever the criteria is, but it's easy because who doesn't like multiple choice, right? It's easy.
Sure. Yeah. Another question I had, what are your thoughts about the tension between people voting for channels organically and voting in clicks, where channels kind of group up with one another to vote for each other?
Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about it. I'm surprised that, and some people campaign, some people don't campaign. I don't really have an opinion on that, because it's really a personal choice. I've seen, there have been a couple channels on this panel who have been very vocal about, hey, vote for me, which is fine. I mean, if I was on the other side of it, I think I would tell people, hey, vote for me if I was nominated or a finalist. But then there's some others that feel like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to get in, just by, if people like me, then I'm not going to try to campaign for it. I don't think there's a wrong way or a right way to do it. It's really personal decision, personal choice. I'm surprised
I think people don't know about it. That's one of the things.
And really, anytime people talk about it, it just really, I'm happy, because hopefully it's going to spread the word, right? It's gonna, I
always say vote for who you like and vote with your heart.
Well, I've been trying to spread the word on the awards themselves, and for the people that I think deserve it. I admit, yes, I've lobbied for a specific one, but that is more because I've got pressure from a little 12-year-old that's like, I want to see you win.
But it's also, you've worked really hard at it and you deserve it. Or you at least deserve consideration. Like, even if
all I've ever asked is right. Like, I don't look for awards. I know, Chonko, you're not looking for awards, and Rich,
I just want consideration. That's all. Like, especially it's like, like I always say, it's like I worked really hard at this, and like if somebody wants to acknowledge that, I mean, I like that. I like that someone's acknowledging what I'm doing, because it keeps me motivated to keep doing it. That's the only thing.
And to be honest, Brian, I'm the type of guy, if I win one, I'm not saying I'm going to, I'm the type of guy that if I won one, I'd tell you, take my name out of consideration in the future, because that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's my personality. I'm not that flashy. I'm not. Yeah. I'm silly.
If I win Best New Channel, don't nominate me for Best New Channel next year.
No, but I'm. My point is, I'm not trying to sound like I'm lobbying you, Brian, because I'm not. I do remember last year when we watched the I got nominated and I had like 200 subs, if that, And I just remember my daughter cried when I didn't make the finals. It's like she was more upset than I was. I'm like, God, there's no way I'm going to do this, you know. And so I said to myself, it'd be nice to make the finals. That's all. That's why I lobbied more to get nominated than I have to actually win the award. So
yeah. I think it's just great when somebody, you know, when somebody just nominates your channel. That I think the nominations for me are the highlight, because you're not, you know, at that point you're not asking for, you haven't mentioned, hey, nominate me, or, you know, maybe you have, but still to have somebody just say, hey, you know, Matt's channel is one of my favorite channels, I'm going to write his name down. I think that's special. And seeing, you know, 600 different channels on that list of nominations, I think it just shows you know, the community, the strength of the community. So
yeah.
And I would agree with some of the comments I saw. If you're going to have a most generous award, it needs to be named the Robbie Josephs Award.
Easily.
No, that guy has been absolutely.
I know. I've seen some of the.
I know that I've been probably the biggest.
Yeah.
You know, I've probably been the biggest recipient, but he goes around and he gives chats like to everybody. He sent Nate. He sent Nate money directly because he couldn't at the time. Nate wasn't monetized. Like that's the kind of guy
I've seen it firsthand, him be so generous. Yeah. And that, you know, that's we always look at the categories every year at the end, and then figure out, you know, like I said, what's the pulse of the community at that time, and do we need to tweak anything? But I always think of, I like to have the categories be as kind of broad as possible, because I want to include as many people as possible, you know, many corners of the community as we can. So I always kind of lean towards, you know, them being more kind of general categories, you know. So
I like that too. I
like the idea.
Personally, I like the way we've structured it mostly. I think, you know, I think it makes sense, you know, but yeah, I mean, I mean, that's just me. I don't know what other people think, but I think it's a hard thing, and I think you've done the best you can.
Right.
Yeah, and we're, like I said, we've made changes every year to try to, you know, tweak it to make it as best as possible. We, you know, I certainly want feedback, you know, from the community, so that we can, you know, make it as best, and like I said, really be as inclusive as possible. So, you know, that's really the goal.
Yeah. Does anybody else have books to show? Maybe we show some comics. I brought some stuff to show for Brian.
Well, actually, I'm seeing the time. I'm seeing the time, and I got to. Speaking of, you know, 12-year-old kids and all that, I got to go say good night and stuff. So, as you know, around this time every week. So, take care, Brian. Was good to see you again. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Chat. I hope everybody has fun, and I'll probably have you on the background on the rest of the show anyway. So, take care.
Thank you, buddy. Yep.
So wait, one more question, maybe before I show my books. Christopher Parker asked, do you tally the votes by hand, or do you use a program to filter the results?
So it's basically in a spreadsheet, Google sheet, and just, you know, pivot table, and come up with the numbers. I mean, that's for the nominations. The finalists basically get calculated by percentage, because it's, you know, 5 finalists in each category. So that basically self tallies. And I've been watching those, and that there are a number of categories that are very close. 2 or 3 votes separate, you know, first, second, third, like, and I've seen votes swap. Like, somebody, you know, I look one day and somebody's the winner, and then, you know, I look again the next day, and then they flip. Like, more votes come in for another channel, and so it's kind of, you know, there's a lot of categories that are that way, where, you know, things are moving until the end.
Do you have the opposite, where you're seeing like runaway voting in other areas, or
there are some? Yeah, there are a few that are, you know, where some channels have really built a lead and are going to be tough to catch. Yeah.
And how often is it that, like, you know, there are some channels that have over 100,000 subscribers or something? How often is it that, like, these channels dominate the voting where you know they just have too many subscribers and they're impossible to catch.
Yeah, there's been a few times, you know, we've had like where I think it was year 2, was it year 1, year 2, like Reggie Collects won like 4 or 5 different awards. So sometimes there's a channel that kind of is on, you know, everybody's brain and they seem to do, you know, really well, or it's just they have a big number of subscribers and they have a lot of people that are voting for them. So, and that's one of the things I've considered too. Do we, you know, there's 15 awards that are within tiers, you know, certain sub tiers. Then there's 15 that are basically just open. One of the things I thought of in the back of my mind is, do we want to put a cap on that? Do we want to put, say, you know, a channel that's got, I don't know what the number is, 25,000 subs. We cap it at that. You know, I don't know, but, you know, because it is, you know, right. You do the math, right? If somebody's got 20,000 subs and I've got, you know, 3,000 subs, you know, 10% of my audience votes and 10% of their audience votes, there's no way I can win. Right. So right. I get that. So, you know, how do we handle that? Because obviously not everybody's on the equal, you know, playing field. Mm-hmm. And that was the idea with the tier categories, you know, the sub count, to try to give some of the smaller channels or mid-sized channels, you know, a fighting chance, so they weren't up against a really big channel. So it's, you know, what do we do? How do we make it as fair as possible?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Very tough.
Yeah.
But I could show a few things if you want.
Yeah, let's see some of those Spidey books.
Before we get to Spidey books, just got a few things.
Or some of those hot lady covers.
Oh, we're gonna get some hot chicks covers right away, because next week, everyone should know, we're going to have the great and powerful Kesha Ray on, the artist Art by Sushi, on Instagram. Talked to her today, and she's excited. She's going to be here. So Kesha Ray with this great Vampirella. I've shown this a couple of times, but really cool with like the stuffed animals and the skeleton with the love eyes looking up and drooling. Had her really kind of a funny Vampirella cover that Kesha did, and this is a signed Kesha Ray Black Cat.
Oh wow, that's nice.
And if you go on her Instagram, Art by Sushi, you'll see like this kind of looks like Kesha Ray, like with different hair color. I asked her about this. She didn't address it. I was like, did you do a self-portrait for that? She didn't say one way or the other, but I think that means maybe she kind of did. And just got a new I don't know, is Mark still there, but Betty and Veronica Summer Spectacular, the Sam Payne, where Betty as Farrah Fawcett.
Oh wow, that's good.
It's a good one. And a new Shabina. I think I've shown this. I think I might have shown this last week, but show it again. Doesn't hurt anybody.
Archives had to be clear, Art by Sushi is a girl, right?
Yes. This time confirmed. Yes, it is.
After the whole kiss thing last week, right?
Right. What a great dude. Yeah, kiss and David Byrne, both great. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, that was a good interview. Yeah, they were good guys, good to chat with.
And I'll just show one of these Betty pages. I picked up 4 of these, and it's a Linsner cover, which actually last night Steven sent me. He had a bunch of original artwork commissioned by this artist that was sent. Really cool stuff, by the way. And speaking of Steven, he showed something a few weeks ago that I thought was wild. It's like an acid trip looking golden age cover called Life with Snarky Parker that I was able to pick up. This weirdo, goofy, silly, whatever the hell this is supposed to be cover. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. That's a wild one. And then Brian books. First Carnage.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Grab that one. And J. Scott Campbell, Felicia.
That one too. Yeah. Got them both.
Okay. And this is Nonstop Spider-Man number 3, Gabriel Delato variant signed by Delato. It's kind of hard to see it, but he's holding the severed Doc Ock arm. It's
yeah,
kind of a dark one.
Yeah, Delato does some great Spidey.
I love Delato. And speaking of great artists, the great Bruce Timm with Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, yeah.
Yeah, this is like
I don't. That's the cover I don't have, but I've seen that. I've seen a few people show that. Yeah, that's one I
it's
definitely would
supposed to
like
be
to get.
like it's like a face-on angle of the first Mary Jane cover where it's like a side view of her dancing. This is supposed to be like a front ways view of that same cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and the
what volume Spider-Man is that? Was that from last volume? Does it say volume 6?
It's 2020, number 49. It doesn't say.
2020. It's probably volume
Spider-Man
5.
850. It says in the note here, but it's 49. Yeah. And then the kind of the classic Last Remains Spencer cover.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah.
And First Tarantula.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And the other big J. Scott Campbell cover, the Mary Jane on the couch where Spidey's leaving. And then this was my copy of Secret Wars 8 from when I was a kid. I did send it off to be cleaned and pressed, and it came back at 9.8.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah,
I had my copy, and that was one of the books I sold.
I
like
still have mine too.
2020. Yeah, I had ASM 300. I sold. I was kicking myself for after I got back into collecting. I'm like, why did I sell those books?
That was my one that I had from when I was a kid, and I sent it off. I had it cleaned and pressed. This was like when I first started sending stuff to CGC, and yeah, I was lucky. I came back 9.8. So that was all I had. I was just going to show. I dug out some Spidey stuff since I knew you were coming on to show you a couple things.
I'll only show a couple things here. First thing is, see, Lyle showed this last Friday.
Very cool.
Not yesterday, but last Friday. In Charles, I jumped on eBay and did the old FOMO thing and snagged one up. But lady was, I think, 15 for it, and I hit her with a $5 bill, and she took it. So
nice, well done.
Yeah, but this thing's really cool. It's the art and everything, the book, the whole thing. It was done in 2021 during height of COVID, and it's art and stories by Skinner. Never really heard of this guy before, but the cover is so really cool. It's really you get the glare on it just right, how it's made. It's a really cool ass cover.
Nice.
And then I picked up another Psycho. I've been slowly buying all the Psychos that my LCS got in. That guy, he had a whole run on them. So, yeah, this is number 7.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. Love them. And of course, I showed that one already. I mean, that's the Hulk, the record. Well, I picked up Worlds Unknown. These are different. Yeah,
I have a few of those.
Yeah.
Those Bronze Age, like both Marvel and DC, those 20 centers.
Yeah.
Like the horror and sci-fi stuff. Just some great
underrated
Vault
stuff.
Yeah. Evil. Yeah. That was really cool. Here's another Vault of Evil.
Very cool.
Yeah. Dude's kissing this chick. She turns into that monster, man. It's
nice.
So freakish. Yeah, it's so cool.
Really good stuff.
And then Chamber of Chills. I showed that one real quick. I was thinking, Brandon and stuff, get a little collection of stuff going, So I always know you love these.
Oh, yeah.
Awful monsters and stuff. So
I think I have the full run of Monsters on the Prowl.
So, and then Weird Mystery Tales.
I love those.
Yeah, I love this cover because it's got like the vampire or the werewolf is behind her, but then you got all the other monsters in front of her. You got Death and
really cool
and vampire and stuff like that. Really cool. Then Secrets of the Sinister House.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, you got your little boars.
Yeah, those painted covers. Those are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Really so cool.
Oh, Gold Key, yeah.
Yeah. A little weird mystery.
Yes.
And then a little weird war.
I love Weird War too.
Yeah, that one's awesome, dude. I love that.
Very
Big
cool.
skull. Snagging the German planes. Then another Midnight Tales.
Very cool.
I like these Charlton Horrors. Then Beyond the Grave. Most of these came out of the dollar box, man. So
Very nice.
yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah, they look like they're in pretty good shape too.
Yeah, they're not bad. Yeah, I always pick up my oddness, goodness stuff. I picked up some Dung Boys.
Oh, no.
This is for
It's like
Nate
Gulag.
Squad, Yeah.
Is that the sequel to the Bathroom Girls or whatever?
Well, now you mentioned that, I did pick up issue number 2
All right.
and issue number 3.
Oh, yeah. How long did it go?
That was the ones I swear when I was in there last week, he had more, but I couldn't find them today for some reason. But I found those 2. 50-cent bins. You can't beat them.
Nice.
They're going to show up in the cover price hot list soon.
And the original Batman killer, or is he, or something? It's called the Bat. It's supposed to be the original take on Batman, but so
All right.
looks kind of cool. Then they had old Captain Thunder and Blue Bolt.
Okay.
I love these oddness, goodness stuff. And then some of the new ones I picked up. I did pick up Hellverine 10.
No.
Is
Is that a Kunka cover?
You know what? I don't know.
He was doing the covers, so it might
He
be.
was. I forgot all about that, Mike. It kind of looks like his, but I'm not sure. I don't see a signature.
Speaking of which, Kunka, I sent the art to Rich earlier. Kunka's doing a really cool Spider-Man cover. Let me see. I'll show it off my phone just so I can show you guys, just because it's so badass. Our good buddy Kunka. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kendrick Lim.
And red coat.
Nice.
And I did pick this up. I wanted to try this out. New Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt.
Oh yeah, that looks
picked that
cool.
up too.
Did you?
That does look cool.
I haven't read it yet, but and then I had to get the Transformers because that's the last
Yeah.
DWJ, so where it gets switched over. So
Nice.
that's pretty much it. But
Here, can I show the Kunka cover? I'll just show it off my phone.
yeah,
But check this out. Brian, you might like this one, but
it'll show up.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Parker
all
ladies.
the Parker
Yep.
lady. Yeah,
Yeah. Kunka's a bad man. It's available at Geeked Out Comics. If you it might be available other places, but Geeked Out Comics selling the Kunka cover, and it looks really cool. I bought a set. I bought the trade dress and the Virgin.
Yeah, there's a lot of exclusive covers for Spidey books. Yeah. Go.
Yeah, I always like to try to not only support artists I like, but also we've made a few friends on the channel now and like to support them too.
yeah, as much as possible. Yeah, but
Yeah, I was just looking at Lau's Kickstarter too. I gotta check that out. It's got some great covers on it.
Yeah, Lau is a really talented guy.
yes.
Lau, I should reach out to you. Maybe if you want to come on for an interview sometime, we promote your Kickstarter and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think I have it in my watch later list. I think he sat down with Alan, right? Like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
he
he did.
I know I have it in my. Just haven't watched it yet, but
Yeah. I think I don't know, unless anybody has something else they wanted to show.
Yeah, I think we'll call it. We're pushing 2 hours. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Brian, yeah, I was going to say thank you so much for coming on, man. Greatly appreciate it, dude.
Really fun.
Me and Mike were that we were planning on having you on, but it was just a little. I'm glad you was able to come on the short notice.
Yeah.
Normally
when you reached out, I was like, yeah. I mean,
normally we're kind of planning it. And sometimes it's a matter of. If we're having one of the artists on, sometimes we're trying to plan around their schedule first, and then, filling around because a lot of times they're traveling to conventions and stuff. It's like it's harder to nail them down. And that's kind of what's been going on, with a couple artists that we've been trying to get on, and that this time it was we had a comic dealer who was going to be on who had a conflict, and we didn't know about it till yesterday, so.
You were on our list. We were just kind of waiting.
Yeah, no worries.
To the awards, to the awards. Then we was going to try to have you on and stuff to be able to talk about everything. But yeah, like I said, thank you so much for coming on, man. It helped us out.
Yeah, no, I always appreciate the invite. So yeah, not no worries.
Yep, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks everybody for chat.
Thanks in the chat.
Thanks for Matt for coming and hanging out for a bit, and Bleeker for stopping by, and
Mike just got here. Casino.
Yeah,
Mike. We're just wrapping up, man.
Wrapping up, buddy. Sorry. Watch us on the rewind, please.
It was a good show. You should catch up.
But again, check us out next week. Mike, you got anything you want to promote real quick? Or?
Well, I'll be on with Matt on Tuesday. And then next week, everyone check out. We have the great Sukesh Ray, the artist, and the week following, we are going to have Big Lyle come by, and Big Lyle is going to show some of his comics.
Some of his comics. That'd be a great show because he's got like
a million.
I think he's got long boxes.
He's got a couple
like 3 rooms in his house.
Yeah, just a couple. But Brian, you got anything you want to promote real quick or?
I got a couple videos this week, pre-recorded stuff. I'll be hanging out with Anachronic Comics next Friday.
Okay.
He does a Friday show. I think he does it like once a month now. He's been in like a middle of a move, but he's I think we're going to be talking about like the MCU and DCU and
nice.
State of comic book movies. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And everyone voted in the awards. Remember to vote. I think everybody's probably voted, but please vote.
Yeah, we've got 4 weeks left. So voting closes the 11th of October. And then November 1st, we're going to announce the winners.
I'm glad that got brought up because, man, I think in some of my pre-recorded videos, I was going, get out and vote. You got till like November. I think saying you got till November. So I got to correct that.
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of a gap between, the end of finalists and the show, so we can get the show ready, get the trophies, ordered and all of that stuff. So little work to be done, but I'm excited to have Nate and, Halia and Lettuce host this year. I think.
Yeah, that's going to be great, man.
That's going to go well. They're both very funny.
Yeah, a very good combination between the two. So looking forward to see what how they.
Well, if you need a combination the following year, No,
I like the idea of having others host because it's a good chance for them to to other hosts to shine and to get some. Out in front of the community. So, we're definitely unless Nate and Hagen really screw it up this year, we'll continue to have guest hosts.
Great. But with me, I got let's see, Wednesday with my geeking out with. I'm gonna have Eric from SideQuest Comics.
Nice,
and we're gonna be. Geeking out with some things that he's chosen. I think it's going to be some D&D figures that he paints and stuff like that, and then amongst other things. So that's the general show. That's what I'd like to have happen as people bring out whatever else they like to geek out about. So, and then I'll probably have another pre-recorded video come out this week also. So, but with that, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks everybody in the chats. Thanks again, Brian. Can't appreciate you enough, buddy. Remember to get out and vote. You do have a short period of time to vote, so get out there and get it done. You haven't done it yet, so what are you slacking? Get out there and do it.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah. But all right, everybody. Well, with that, we will see you guys next week.
Thanks,